Hello everyone, I am the Board Observer, here to highlight the most talked about topics from this past week at Political Storm. The weekly rundown begins now. On Friday, Electoral College. One of our newest contributors, the Liberal Sanity Project, refutes Direwolf's Electoral College video myths, including how the college devalues votes according to population and how democracy failures wasn't due to the elections, but warfare. The college also originally protected slave states, not the smaller states. Also on Friday, Antifa. The professor who bashed 7 people in the head using bike locks during protests is only getting a 3-year probation, and our contributor, Zoom Politicon, thinks this is unbelievable.
Oh shit, he's bleeding. Yo. Hey, man.
On Saturday, Steve and Jim of Whiskey Congress podcast discusses a racist incident in Powell, Ohio, and the Manafort trial impact on the Trump administration. Also on Saturday, Aspirin. Progressive contributor Andrew Bruce criticizes the Trump administration's misguided and uncaring policy of curbing patient access to legal prescription opioids, which does not stem overdose rates. On Sunday, taxes. Conservative Mexican calls out Newsom for applauding high gas taxes in California while the poor are suffering. He urges you to vote Republican as governor of California for more tax cuts. On Monday, midterms. Conservative writer Jeff Crouere notes that Trump's ratings are now 50% on Rasmussen, and 36% of African Americans gave him a positive rating despite the mainstream media's efforts to paint him as a racist.
Is like Hitler.
Also on Monday, cake fight. The Colorado baker who refused to bake a wedding cake for a gay wedding is back in court denying a cake for a transgender woman. Liberal Alexis Chapman says businesses are not allowed to refuse services to people regardless of religion, and the Supreme Court in their previous decision didn't clarify what's essential, what are the legal limits of this kind of religious-based refusal of service. On Tuesday, Trump. Our progressive pundit, Steven Singer, admits he has Trump anxiety syndrome.
Oh, I woke up feeling so good. Now all of a sudden I feel so funny.
And his name is mentioned often in mental health consultations. He hopes for a viable third-party candidate against the corrupt duopoly. Also on Tuesday, Cortez. The new darling of the progressives, Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez, refused to debate conservative icon Ben Shapiro after he offered her $10,000. She called it catcalling.
Ew! Get off of me! Ugh, as if!
Conservative Direwolf Media calls her excuse ridiculous. On Wednesday, Free Press. Holly of Zoom Politicon posted a live session to discuss how 340 local outlets penned editorials to call Trump to stop attacking the freedom of the press, taking the fight out of DC and New York City to the rest of the country. Also on Wednesday, Socialism. Conservative Mexicans believe Democrats are favoring socialism for the USA, and it's a bad policy.
No, I think Obama has redefined the Democratic Party. It used to be the party of acid, amnesty, and abortion, and now it's the party of surrender, socialism, and subprime mortgages.
This especially if it means raising our current taxes. And on Thursday, 2020, our newest contributor, Ethan Kelly of Let's Talk Elections, imagines a 2020 presidential showdown between Biden and Trump, with Joe Biden taking back the White House.
Unchain Wall Street. They're going to put you all back in chains.
And lastly on Thursday, feminism. Our newest contributor, conservative Deanna Lorraine, discusses the lies of toxic feminism with Honey Badger radio host Brian Martinez.
All white people are racist, all men are misogynistic, all cisgender people are transphobic, all members of a majority are biased against the members of the minority or oppressed group.
And that about does this for this edition of the Weekly Rundown. Be sure to log on to Political Storm and read about the latest topics of the day and the various discussions around those topics. Once again, I am the Board Observer, signing off.